Hi, Israel once again from Abusive Victims, hoping you stay tuned with us and listen to our abusive stories. Hi, welcome again to our show, Abuse Victims, and you're talking to Israel right now, and today we're going to talk about gangsterism or abuse that actually is caused by the gangsters or kids that are wandering around on the streets, and kids that are wandering around going around grabbing other people's bags and grabbing other people's belongings. Okay, so basically I've always asked myself, like, what causes these children to actually end up being on the streets, grabbing other people's handbags and grabbing people's cell phones and all that kind of stuff. According to my research and going around interviewing children and speaking to different kind of kids, and spending time with them, because it takes actually taking off your time and spend time with those children and find out exactly what are the things that matter in their lives. So I've come to notice that the things that actually matter in their lives are little things like looking for attention, looking for being appreciated and being showed love and showed that actually there's someone out there who really cares. So I've come to realize that most of these kids are actually crying out loud for attention. They're seeking attention. They're trying to send a message that someone actually should care. It's basically their way of crying out loud for help. So what I learned is all those years that I never actually got to understand exactly why would someone come and grab my cell phone and just want to take my stuff by force without even having a heart or even thinking twice. And then I got to learn that these children are they're struggling and they're suffering and they're crying out loud for help. It's their way of seeking out, of crying out and trying to reach out for help and really crying out to other people who can really give support and give love and give. So basically, if one of those kids comes and grabs something from you on the street, what do? Should you go to the police station? Should you go and open a case against them, or should you take them and beat them up or what do you do exactly? So these are the questions. Actually, I would love you to send in your comments at the bottom there. Send a comment and give us the thought that you have towards these kids that go around grabbing people's belongings and try to take things by force. So basically, it's really sad that where these kids come from, the homes that they come from, you find that most of them come from poverty. Most of them come from, well, some would say that these kids come from homes where there's good life, there's money. Some would say they're spoiled brats, but actually most of them aren't spoiled brats. These kids are crying out for attention. They're crying out for love. And then the last thing you want is to take this child and send him into prison where they'll actually learn more things. Because in prison, actually, they do learn things. They do learn to survive. They learn to make it happen, to live or die. So by the time these kids come out of prison, they are addicted to things. They've learned new tactics of how to rob now. if he was arrested for grabbing a handbag or grabbing a cell phone on the street, when he comes out, he's going to be well experienced, and he'll be able to rob cars. Because when you put them in jail, they're in prison, they end up being mixed up together with the other people, other gangsters, and big criminals. They put together with big criminals who rob banks and who rob with guns, machine guns, and all that kind of stuff. So taking a child who robbed a cell phone from you and open a case on him and throw him in jail, it's a little bit cold. And I would suggest that this should be handled differently, in a manner that put yourself in a parent who would be raising that, who could be raising that child. That child has got nobody. You'll find that child upbringing was really bad, and it must be tough for that child. It must be really tough. So I would advise not to be so harsh on such a child. Such a child needs help. It's their way of crying out loud for help, and deep inside they're really afraid. They're scared. They don't really know how to survive. They don't know how to make it in life. They're so scared of death. They're scared of dying. And we would say actually they feel abused in some kind of a way. At home, on the streets, nobody trusts them. Nobody wants to look at them. Even people who would actually give them a benefit of a doubt. Show them that they can be trusted. Show them that at least one person cares out there on the street. Now that actually, that can take them a long way. That can take them to bed to sleep, just by you giving love and giving care. Whoever that is out there, I'm now not talking to the kids that are being abused. I'm talking to the adults that seem to be taking these kids and put them into jail, into prison, and try to punish them. And these kids do not need punishment. These kids need care. They need love. They need someone who taps them on the shoulder and say, do not worry. Things will be alright. Things will be okay. These kids need your love. These kids need your benefit of a doubt. And it's so little things. Treat them as you would treat your own family. I mean, if it was your own kid that was catching on stuff, and let's say they're just being naughty. Why are they being naughty? Let's look for reasons why these kids are pushed to do such things. Okay. I'm hoping you stay tuned for more stories to come. Do not forget to subscribe on our YouTube at the bottom there for more stories about abused victims. So stay tuned. Don't forget to send in your comments. Send in all the comments. Send in questions. We are always there to answer the questions and give advice. Remember, if you have any story that you would like to be published, send it to us and we will publish it and get your advice out there for other kids to actually get empowered, to get encouraged, and to be saved from abuse and saved from committing suicide. Once again, Israel from abuse victims. Stay tuned for our next videos. Thank you. Bye-bye.
The good die young, that's why my O's gone to God. Perseverance is the lesson, respect to you, mama. This is my serenity, it's how I take my mind off. Working constantly, passions are plus, don't need time off. Pray at night and in the morning, ensure the door is open. Waiting patient, this is greatness in the making, take the blind.